Hey everyone, I hope to make this tutorial short and nice for you. Please use the timestamps below so you don't waste any time. But today we're going to be recreating this simple effect in After Effects. So we've got one athlete and then we've got the basketball coming forward and that's it. The first thing I want to talk about is the plugins I'm going to use. Okay, the first plugin is the Wonder plugin. Again, I'm not sponsored or anything, but it's the Wonder plugin that allows you to find any assets or stickers, and it's really easy if you want to kind of create memes in After Effects or anything of that sort. It's a one-time purchase for $49, again, not sponsored, and I think I bought it for like 60 bucks when I paid for it like a month ago. The other plugin is free, and I highly suggest it. It's the Video Copilot Auto plugin. It's like the Video Copilot Autocomplete plugin. It's called FX Console. You can just search for it. And so what that allows you to do is press Control and space, and then it allows you to search for an effect. So I can look for like distort, and I can see all the possible effects that, start with those letters. So it's really easy to pull up effects. And then I have the Wonder plugin right here. I was just showing you what version I'm using. But with the Wonder plugin, I can simply type in basketball and get all these stickers or GIFs or even video of whatever I search for basketball. Okay, so now onto the effect. I'm going to start over here. So I'm going to simply delete everything and we're going to start over. You can create a new composition. I'm going to create composition basic HD 1920 by 1080, 24 frames per second. Even if you don't do this, it's the same. Or it won't matter that much. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create an adjustment layer with my shortcut Control-Alt-Y. Again, you can also go to Layer, New, Adjustment Layer. Again, notice the shortcut there, Control-Alt-Y. Then I'm going to use my FX console. I'm going to add the effect with, again, Control-Space. I'm going to add the effect Grid here. So I'm going to get that grid effect, and then I'm going to get a distort effect. We are going to use the built-in effect here of bad distortion here. So you can see it's just like this. And most of you should have that effect. I believe it's built in with After Effects. And so kind of looks, like this. Again, this is kind of optional. You don't need that. And then what we're going to do here is we are going to get some basketball stickers with the Wonder plugin. Again, you can get other ones. I'm just going to get a few here. I'm going to get this one. I'm going to get this one. And I think I had LeBron over here too. Perfect. I'm going to select all of them with Shift click. And then so I'm going to have them all. I'm going to press S for the scale key and I'm going to scale these up. I'm trying to go fast here because you guys can always rewind it and you guys can always rewatch the video. So once I've scaled them up to the height I like, I am going to then click over here. You can notice here that the stickers do have different timelines. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to again select all three of the stickers with Shift click, and I'm going to do Control Alt comma here. And what that's going to do here is it's going to extend them all to be the same time frame. So what it's going to take the ones that are longer and make them faster in duration, and it's going to take the ones that are shorter and make them slower in duration. It's going to allow it to be as many frames as I put it out there. So now what we're going to do to give that effect, and this is what the tutorial is really about, to make that effect of them kind of coming in front of each other, is we are going to make them 3D. And we do that with all three of the layers selected. We are going to get the 3D layer icon. We're going to make sure that's checked. I'm also going to check the motion blur layer. Usually when you move things around by position, you also want to do that. If you can't see the 3D layer, you want to click this bottom button right here, Switch Transfer Controls, and that should show you different types of controls. So the 3D, again, button is this little 3D cube. Okay, I'm going to press U to minimize everything, minimize all the settings. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do two more layers. First thing we're going to do, we're going to create a camera. We do that with Control-Shift-Alt-C for camera. It's going to say 2-node camera and 50 millimeter. Again, don't worry about these settings, just use the defaults and click OK. If you don't know what these things mean, that's okay. Just notice we're going to have a camera in 3D space, and that allows us to look at different things in 3D space. And then what's common, what we do with a camera layer is we also create a null layer. You can do this by doing Control-Alt-Shift-Y to create a null layer. So I've got a camera layer and a null layer. And then you want to parent the camera with the kind of snail-looking icon. It's called the pick whip to the null. So it should like this. So it should say that camera 1 is the parent, is parented to the null. And again, you can name the parent, the null object, with anything you want. I accidentally clicked it. I'm going to click back on my composition over there. And so now we have 3 objects in 3D space. Now, it's very interesting, or it can be very complex to understand 3D space. What I'm going to do in the bottom right of my composition, you see this button called Active Camera. Now that we have 3D, we're going to click right here. And this shows our composition from the right side perspective in 3D. Now, we aren't doing anything with 3D, so we're kind of viewing a 2D landscape in 3D. So we are just seeing the, flat side of a paper. We're seeing the, right or left side of paper, and so we kind of can't see anything. And I'll show you what I mean in a second here. I'm going to go to the LeBron James layer and press P, and you can see now we have 3 coordinates, X, Y for 2D, and then we have Z because it's now a 3D layer. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move LeBron forward. And so now we're using that 3D layer in our space here. I'm going to go to my basketball layer. I'm going to move it a little bit backwards here. And so now you can see the 3D layer is kind of coming into play here. I've got my 3 layers at different depths because that's what the 3D layer allows me to do. And again, if I go back to the regular camera view here, not much has changed from, when I first put these stickers on, but now we're going to be able to have that effect where I bring them in front of one another, okay? So what we're going to do here is I am going to go to my basketball layer here, and I am going to keyframe the position. I'm going to press Control Shift Page Down just to go ahead 5 frames. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring it out to the right here with my X frame, and I'm also going to make sure to then take the Z coordinates and put it, probably about the same as where LeBron is at -100. And then I'm going to go another 5 frames, again with Shift Page Down, and then I'm going to move the Z coordinates again more down so it's more in front of LeBron, and then I'm going to bring it here back to where it started, the center of the frame. So I'll make it 960 perfectly. Then I'm going to highlight my 3 keyframes. Well, I'll show you what it looks like without doing anything. So that's my basketball coming in and out. I'm going to then highlight all 3 keyframes. I'm going to highlight all 3 keyframes. Can't talk today. And I'm going to press F9 for easy ease to make them smoother. So now the basketball looks like that. And then I'm going to press J to go to the last keyframe, and we are going to start keyframing the position. Basically the same thing here. What we're going to do here is we're going to do Shift F down, and again we are going to make this go to the left this time, and again bring our Z position up here. I'll do again about level with it. I'll do -230. It's always nice to manually enter things. And then again I'll go up here and we will bring it right there, and we'll bring up the Z frame just a little bit from our last keyframe. And again, then I'm going to go F9 here. So as you can see here, I'm going boom, boom. And I just want to make sure when that goes, yeah, that's just the basketball changing there. And then I've got him. And then I can do the same thing for LeBron if I want. Again, J. You can press J and K to go through the keyframes. That's a programming shortcut, I believe, just because I've come from programming and I knew that from coding. You use that to go in between words in Vim, the program. But I like to see that it's baked in After Effects. And again, we can do the same thing with LeBron. We can use the X coordinate here, maybe go under here. Oops, I want to keyframe that, and then I want to go forward 5 frames. So I press Control Z there to go backwards. I'm going to take that, I'm going to go forward here. And again, it shows I'm off screen here. Let me show you the right perspective here. This is kind of the right perspective. I can press comma here to zoom out. So there's LeBron and there's the other 2 images. And so I'm kind of going down there. And then I'm going to go back to my camera here, my camera view here. And now we're going to bring LeBron back up. So we got 540 there. And I'm going to highlight all these, boom. And so let me zoom in a little bit here. You press period to zoom in, and boom, boom, and there's LeBron. Now, I may have made them too big here, so I'm going to reselect all of them here, and I'm going to scale them down a tad bit so it doesn't look crazy here. And so now we've got our animation here. Boom, boom, boom. A few other things we can do. I can press Control Alt Y, create an adjustment layer. I can make sure the adjustment layer is the first layer, and I can just add another preset called Snowfall. And sometimes it takes forever to load. And there we go. If I do CC Snowfall, I then get Snowfall coming up here. And so it's just kind of adds something. And notice that this adjustment layer is in 2D space. So this snow is on top of everything. So make sure you always familiar with what layers you want to be in 2D and what layers you want to be in 3D. So if I go to the right here, I only have my 1, 2, 3 layers. I don't have my snowfall layer. If I click this here, I can then see it on this camera because the 2D layer can't be seen from a 3D camera. That's something to note of. So the cameras, this camera here, the camera we made, it doesn't interact with the 3D object. So I've got some boom, we got 3D effects. So that's just an introduction to the camera, that's an introduction to adjustment layers, and it's an introduction to the motion blur layer. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching, like and subscribe.